Hello. This evening is October 24th. It's about 9:22 in the evening. Making this short video for Sylvain Dumas. This goes out to you, my friend. You recently posted on my Facebook regarding wanting to know what is the best place to start with Scientology or Dianetics as far as the basics are concerned. So, just to answer your question very briefly, the best place to start with Dianetics actually would be self-analysis. It is a very easy to understand format. It has a very easy to understand processing section. And you can always do those lists. You can do them on yourself, or you can deliver them to another individual. And pretty much the core concepts of Dianetics are summed up into that book, again in a very easy to understand format. Now, when it comes to Scientology, the best basic book on that is simply Fundamentals of Thought. And again, even though Fundamentals of Thought was created for a translation into other languages, kind of a synopsis, if you will, or a codex, this book just has all the simple and basic fundamental principles of Scientology as well, with a few of the processes in there as well. And then if you'd like to embark on doing very, very basic Scientology processing, then you would use Creation of Human Ability, which also is a self-processing manual. So that is to answer your question as far as what basics are best to utilize for those purposes. You have Dianetics on one hand, alright? Then you have Scientology on the other. And the reason I say this, and the reason you should use those books starting off, is Dianetics can be a difficult book to understand. Not as it's written, but due to people's communication and educational level in present time, or in today's day and age. Because people are not as well educated as far as vocabulary, grammar, punctuation. People do not do as much writing as they did 50 years ago. It's to a degree a lost art form, even though many, many people still practice writing. They write books, ebooks, blogs, etc. But at the time, this was the height of the Pulp Fiction era. The pocket books, books would sell on newsstands, cigarette racks, and people did an extreme amount of reading during that age. And of course, Dianetics was probably one of my more pedantic or wordy or scientific or authoritative tomes or large volumes on the subject. And unfortunately, a lot of people that read that today don't catch the gist of it, don't really understand it, or they lose interest immediately because there's a lot of words in there that are antiquated or old, and they just simply lose interest because they don't understand what they're reading. And again, that's not a criticism to anybody, but it seems to hold out, as a basic truth over the last few years that people are just not as interested in reading anymore. And if they attempt to read things that are antiquated or old, then they tend to lose interest or just don't simply understand them. So, that being said, it's still a very sound science. Dianetics still stands the test of time, but people have to be able to read it, understand it, duplicate it. And that all hinges on study technology, which is looking up words, alternate definitions, taking definitions as they're given in the context. And again, anyone fresh off the street or more than likely a beginner on the subject does not tend to do that. So, I hope that answers your question, my friend, and you have a good evening. I'll talk to you all soon.